I want to go over Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the number one cryptocurrency. Is the first one, and it's very, very unique the way that it was created and the things that come about in Bitcoin. And there's only so many Bitcoin out there. Other coins that they can make their coins and they can make more, but Bitcoin is like the gold standard of cryptocurrency. The blockchain technology that Bitcoin uses is a little outdated now. So there's other coins that are more valuable with their technology, but not more valuable than Bitcoin because there's only so many Bitcoin. It was the first like granddaddy of them all. So Bitcoin, a new internet currency, and this is from Dallas, the federal office of Dallas. And so this is another government source of what Bitcoin is, or what blockchain went through, the government source of that. And it just tells you that, this is in the government's thinking. They know it's here, it's going to last. And, we're going to go over some of the things that the government knows about Bitcoin. And these are the basics. And then you guys will talk about, more advanced things later on. But I just wanted to give you guys a beginning of what blockchain was and what Bitcoin is. So Bitcoin, a new internet currency. The opinions expressed are solely those of the presenters and do not reflect the opinions of the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas or the Federal Reserve System. So what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer internet currency that allows decentralized transfers of value between individuals and businesses. So Bitcoin versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the system, right? Bitcoin is the system, and that would be the blockchain system. That's what we're talking about. When you're saying just Bitcoin, there's Bitcoin, the blockchain system, the technology. And then there's Bitcoins with the S, and those are the units. Those are the coins, the actual coin, individual coins, right? And this is the logo for it. So creating a currency from scratch. So what motivated them, right? The guy that created it, there's two people that created it. The main guy, Satoshi, is like nobody knows who he is still to this day. There's some people that claim that they're this person. We know the other person that did most of the computer coding was an analyst for the CIA, one of the top analysts for the CIA. There's movies about it. So some people believe that, Bitcoin was basically manufactured for CIA black operatives to basically use money. Instead of in the movies, you see they go to a CIA's house and they drop off a suitcase with cash. Well, just think if you could drop off some stuff into the internet for them and they could spend it as cash. That's what, the motivation might be for it. Most movies are talking about it from that aspect because they know the number two creator, the guy that we do know actually was one of the starters, is an analyst for the CIA, one of the big time guys. And the other guy, he's just a name out there. So, and some people think that it's named after about 5 different big corporations that want to start their own currency. Who knows, what is what, but we do know that the number one guy that we do know is an analyst for the CIA. So motivation would be distrust of financial institutions. So the distrust for banks got so high when Bitcoin was invented. And that was when we had that big crash around 05, 06, 07, 08. We had a big crash and some banks were closing down left and right. And another reason why this is a transaction cost. There's big time transaction costs. Even when you send Bitcoin or you send a different cryptocurrency, yeah, there is a transaction cost. It might be, $5, it might be $10, whatever it is less than the transaction cost of running a bank. I mean, you think about the tellers, you got to pay the tellers, you got to pay, for the building, you got to pay the executive people, you got to pay all these people to run banks. And think if you could just eliminate all the people in a bank and just pay somebody to solve a mathematical equation through their computer, think about, how much money you're saving, even though it takes a lot of energy to what they call mined Bitcoin. And we'll learn about what that means, but that's basically mining Bitcoin. is like a teller doing a transaction, giving somebody their money, and the people that are ahead of them that are making sure all the money's right in the bank. So it takes down transaction costs. The primary concerns are the transaction security. Now, when blockchain came into existence, they were trying to eliminate this in the beginning. It's transaction security. Can somebody come in and hack the blockchain and send money anywhere they want to from anybody's wallet? Well, no, that's impossible because all these different computers have to align and say that this person sent that. And so it has to be a code and everything like that. And then they were always worried about something called double spends. And double spends, we'll get into that, but double spends basically means, can somebody have $1 million in their in Bitcoin, send the $1 million somewhere and send it somewhere else at the same time? So they'd be basically double spending. And that's what happens sometimes when people get funding. People get funding and they apply for funding at two different banks, and one bank sends them their funding, the other one sends it at the same time. So it doesn't post yet. So then, there's different banks sending you a lot of money, but they wouldn't have did that if the other one already posted. They would only gave you one of those loans. The banks would have said, oh, that's too much for this person to have. So that's the double spend method. So let's go over the distrust of financial institutions. So any non-cash transaction requires a trusted third-party administrator, commonly a bank or financial service provider. The system forces participants to trust financial institutions that are not always trustworthy. So this is what they were trying to make obsolete. Banks, are not that trustworthy. There's a guy that can run a bank and he can say, hey, you sent this, or you did this, or you did this transaction. Some people pay off their mortgage and then they got another mortgage that they got to pay because the records are lost, or the records are burnt, or the computer was hacked and it sent it the wrong way. So transaction costs. Traditional payments are revocable, even on irrevocable services. So like what I was saying before, somebody could send you money on PayPal and they can reverse that within like 3 months. Somebody could send you money on a credit card and they could say they didn't get the service and they can reverse it in 6 months. And then you got to fight for it and things like that. So these are the things that, blockchain wanted to eliminate. If you sent the money, you sent it. There's no getting it back. All right. Financial institutions act as an arbitrator between counterparties in disputed claims. So who wants to, dispute a claim? Whoever's the bigger company usually is going to end up getting the money, right? And that's just how it is. Arbitration costs are passed on the consumers. So we're paying for that. When you put your money in a bank, instead of getting, a lot of money at the end of the year, they're only giving you like a percentage of 1% of what you have in your account. Why? Because there's so many fees. There's so many fees that are occurred. I mean, the bank teller, the branch manager, the president of the company, paying for the actual property where the banks are at, different things like that, paying for they're sending loans out, commercial loans, house loans, car loans. There's all kind of costs of these people in different departments getting paid. And they, some of these people are getting paid for being a teller, $60,000 a year. And how many tellers do they have, right? Think about it. So transaction security. So there's two levels of verification: source of legitimate and coins are legitimate. So a coin is legitimate, right? There's all kind of coins right now that are worth nothing, right? But, is a coin legitimate, and where did the coin come from? Somebody just can't make up that they have a Bitcoin when they don't have it. It's not going to be able to be sent because the Bitcoin is going to be on the blockchain, and you can only send stuff that's on the blockchain. You can't say, start your own wallet and say, I got 200 Bitcoin in my wallet. That's not going to work because the blockchain knows how many Bitcoin there are, and that's it. Public-private keys verification ensure the legitimacy. So there's public and private keys that people have. That's the only way you can send stuff from your account to somebody else's, and that's through a wallet usually. So double spends, and I was just kind of talking about that briefly, but if the money is just digital codes, why not copy and paste to make more money? Well, you can't do that because of the blockchain has what? Timestamps. And they deal with hashes. Those are the big numbers. Sometimes they're 25 numbers and letters in a sequence that are basically unduplicatable. and sometimes it's 60 or more than that. And then the blockchain. So these are all the things that make it so, you can't duplicate a Bitcoin and start creating money out of nowhere and double spending. So double spend, let's go over the timestamp. Each transaction is packaged and publicly recorded in the order it was carried out. So one transaction after another. Sometimes transactions take a minute. I sent Bitcoin, it took 2 days. Now it depends on how many people are buying and selling Bitcoin at the time to when that timestamp can come. And so that's very valuable and key to the whole process, that timestamp part. And then hash. The timestamp group of transactions are given a unique algorithmic derived number. So every time something is carried out by the timestamp and delivered, then it has a unique number that only that one has. And that's the one that I was talking about, 25 numbers, 24, 60. So people can't duplicate that. So another part about the blockchain. So we just went over that, but the blockchains are recorded in a community-built record of all transactions that acts as a proof of work. Proof of work. There's called proof of stake, mining. There's different ways that different cryptocurrency are used and transactions are recorded. Like proof of work means that basically it's mined, just like how kind of gold is mined, they call it mining, but it means that basically there's computers that are solving problems, and these computers are working to determine, the transaction, and then that computer makes a part of the transaction cost. So every time you send Bitcoin or receive Bitcoin, there's a transaction cost that goes to the person computer that's mining it, right? Then there's other things called proof of stake. Proof of stake means that there's people that have a lot of these coins. And so the people that have the most coins, they actually make more money because their coins are staked, meaning that they took their coins and they're not going to use their coins for a week, maybe a month or a year, and they'll stake it in there, and then their coins will start making more coins on top of what they already started out with. There's also proof of burn. There's when you burn coins, and then sometimes when the coins are burnt, then it makes it so the coin gets littler and littler, the amount of circulation, which means that the coins become more and more valuable. And then some coins actually give people, like if you sell your coins, they'll give it to somebody that's holding their coins. So there's a community of people that are holding their coins, and the more somebody has, the more coins are going to be distributed to them when the algorithmic goes through and sends a coin to somebody or sends it to somebody else. So those are the kind of common ways that cryptocurrency is sent out, bought and sold. So computers connected to the network accept the longest chain as accurate. So once the accuracy is proven, then it's sent to all the other computers that are on this network. And so that's why it is impossible to steal. It's not like a bank. A bank has a couple servers, and something goes through and it goes to just those servers. Just imagine, a bank having whatever it is, 50,000 computers and servers, sitting in different locations that monitor if something's right or wrong. Just imagine with the blockchain, it's every computer. Every computer that's online can be a part of it. So that's the amazing part of it, where people can't just duplicate and double spend. So where do Bitcoins come from? They're mined. And what does mining mean, right? Mining means high-powered computers solve complicated math problems. Each time a problem is solved, the finder is paid a bounty. So that's why they call it mine, because you think of like a gold miner. He's going to put a lot of effort in, to dig for gold. He has to clean the gold, and then he has to sell the gold. So that's what these computers are doing. These computers are going in, they're solving these high problem mathematical equations with high speeds, and you got to get the graphic cards, you got to get all this stuff to really mine these coins. And then each time they complete mining a coin that goes from buying to selling, then the person that owns that computer is going to get paid. So it's basically like your computer can be like a teller at a bank that works 24 hours a day and makes a lot of money. So a lot of people that made, a lot of money in cryptocurrency is because of the mining aspect of it. And, I was in a mining program way back, It was like 7 years ago, and I was mining Ethereum. Ethereum at that time, I think it was like about $4. And somebody said it was going to go up to $1,000, and everybody in the room was laughing. And I remember it going from $4 all the way up to $50. And I cashed out. I was like, man, I done made more than 10 times my money. Oh my gosh. And now Ethereum is worth $2,000. Well, a couple months ago, Ethereum was almost worth $5,000. So that thing that I have for $5, if I would have kept them, I had, thousands and thousands of them. And I came up with the number. I did the math calculation of all the Ethereum I had at the $5 thing when I was mining it. And it came out to over $50 million I would have right now if I would have just kept it. And so that's the kind of thing with cryptocurrency. It turned a lot of people that were holding into millionaires. It's like me. I had like baseball and basketball cards back when I was a little kid, and I still have some of them. But if I would have kept cryptocurrency like that when I first got in, I just kept it like it was a baseball card and just kept it tucked away. That's how you become a big time millionaire. I got friends that are billionaires and stuff that showed me their wallet. I got pictures of some of their wallets, and it's very impressive the kind of money that people can accumulate by just holding on to coins. I mean, somebody got this coin called Shiba Inu like a year ago. And it went up, and they had like $5,000 they bought of this coin when it first came out, and they were worth $1.5 billion like 6 months later. And so that's the kind of stuff, if you know about a coin coming out. So people risk, a coin comes out and you put in money and you risk, because all coins aren't going to create value right away. Some of them, have real great technology, blockchain technology that's different and can be used. So you got to evaluate coins on what's the uses for, what's the future look like for this. I know right now, a lot of the coins that are coming out that are based off of gaming are hot right now. I mean, my son was playing a video game, and he bought a dance for his girlfriend for like $5. Think about how many kids are buying dances in a video game and how much that could really accumulate to if you have that on the blockchain and you get paid every time somebody does that. So that's the kind of technology that is in here. So mining Bitcoins solve complicated algorithms to find a solution called a hash. Finding a hash creates a block that is used to process transactions. So each new block is added to the blockchain. And this is what we are talking about when we're going over mining and things like that, so you guys understand the technical terms of what this really means. So mining Bitcoins. So until there are 21 million Bitcoins, okay, there's 21 million Bitcoins, okay, miners are paid for finding a hash in new coin. After 21 million, miners will charge transaction fees for creating a new block. The amount paid per hash goes down by half about every 4 years. So if you got into mining Bitcoin way back, man, you were making so much money, it was ridiculous. Now the fees are going down, 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 and now it's cheaper to send Bitcoin and things like that. So remember that Bitcoin is one of the unique ones, and there's other coins kind of like this, but Bitcoin is so unique because there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoins. And that's why people feel like it's always going to go up. Now, it does go down when people start selling their Bitcoin at largest amounts. Everybody starts tanking it. And then, the big guys come in again. They wipe out all the little guys, because the little guys are going to lose their money because they don't know when the big guys are going to pull out their money. And that's what just happened like 2 weeks ago. It was a crypto crash where the big guys took out, I think it was over $1 trillion. The market was up to $2 trillion. They wiped out a whole $1 trillion. So some coins, everything went down basically half. And so when that happened, the average person, what do you think they did? Their money that they had for their retirement went in half, and they said, oh, I'm getting it out right now before I lose everything. I lose my shirt and my leg. So what they really did is, Bitcoin was at $60,000 and it went down to $30,000. And so a lot of people cashed out and got half of their money. And then guess what happened? It went down to like $26,000. And then that's when the big guys started buying again, and it went up to $30,000. So the big guys aren't going to really lose, because the big guys probably bought in at $10,000 or $20,000 in the first place. So they're always ahead of the game. There's countries that actually have created their currency. Like I think it was Venezuela, I believe their whole currency is based off of Bitcoin right now. So their country is very volatile, goes up and down. So owning Bitcoins, users create accounts called wallets. Wallets are secured using passwords and contain the private keys used for transferring Bitcoin. So everybody needs to get a wallet. And I recommended some wallets last week. And I think today I'll show you guys how to get at least 1 or 2 wallets. And this is how you start, accumulating the coins. You need a very good wallet. And then you need to know how to buy, a cryptocurrency and store it in the wallet. And then you keep it in there, or you can use it for transactions and things like that. So spending Bitcoin happens like this. Computers accept the longest blockchain, which inhibits hacking. Hackers would have to create a longer chain of fraudulent information faster than the combined effort of all other computers. So all these computers are working together. A hacker would have to have such a powerful system of computers in place to really be able to do this before somebody even sends it in, which is impossible. Public-private cryptography means individual Bitcoins are secured when not being transacted. So these coins that are not being spent, they're just sitting on the blockchain in your wallet, right? Your wallet is basically reflecting and mirroring what's going on the blockchain. So nobody else could take that blockchain and send it or do anything, because that's connected directly to your private keys or your public keys in your wallet. So is it money? This is a big question. People are saying, well, is Bitcoin money? Is cryptocurrency money? Well, what is the definition of money? What does money really mean? And so, we look at money as cash. We look at money as probably gold. We look at money as silver or precious metals, right? But, what is actual money? Well, money back in the days, we learned when I was talking about the trading technique with candles. We know that back in the days before, the 1500s, that rice was considered money. Rice was the most valuable thing. And next to that was rapeseed oil in, Japan. So what is money? Money is like a bartering system. It's a store of value. That's really what it is. It's a medium of exchange, a unit of account. That's what money really is. Like, that's the value that it has. If people say that Bitcoin is worth something, then it's worth something. When people all of a sudden say Bitcoin is not worth anything, like the coin Luna was worth $100, and in like a week it went down to $0. That's what happened in the crypto crash, because Luna was connected to the dollar, as they say, it was pegged, and it lost its pegging and lost all its value. So money is just, it's a store of value. Money can be considered a Lamborghini. Money can be considered, a house that you own, or the land that you own. Anything that's tied to a value. That's what money really is. And so, is it money? Well, number one, is it scarce? Yes. Is it portable? Yes. Is it divisible? Yes, right? You could buy a half a blockchain. You could buy a percentage of a blockchain. You don't have to buy the whole or Bitcoin. You can buy a piece of the Bitcoin. You don't got to buy one Bitcoin for 30,000. You could buy a part of a Bitcoin that's worth $50. So, and that's just like our dollar, right? Our dollar, it could be worth, a penny or 10 cents or 5 cents. So that's the divisible part. Just like our house could be worth a certain amount, or you can divide a property and it could be a certain amount. So is it uniform? Yes. Is it durable? Right? Our cash has to be durable, and that's why they take it and burn it and create more after a certain amount of years. The paper is going to wear out. The coins are usually last way longer, right? And so is it durable? Yes, because it's on the internet. It can't be worn down, right? And what people don't really understand right now is 90% of all money is digital money right now. I know I took the real estate test a couple years ago, and that was the number one question in the book. It said, what percentage of money is digital compared to money that's physical? So physical money would be an actual dollar in your pocket, a coin in your pocket or whatever, right? A piece of gold coin or something like that. But, 95% of all money is in banks. It's digital. It's not even like if everybody pulled out their money, there's not even enough money in paper currency to even go around. And the reason why the dollar is king around the world is because of hundreds. People use hundreds, you know, all around the world to buy stuff. And that's the number one currency basically spent. It's not $10 bills and $5 bills. It's hundreds. When you're in other countries, you're spending hundreds and you're taking your hundreds to other countries. And then you're getting, you know, what it's worth in the euro or what it's worth in Japan. And so that's why they say our cash is king, because the $100 bill is the most circulated currency basically in the world. Is it acceptable? Well, I can turn Bitcoin. You could, you know, go to a Bitcoin ATM machine now. You could buy a car with Bitcoin in San Diego. I actually have a dealership. You could buy a car from me with cryptocurrency. The top 10, I'll take all of them. You could buy real estate in California with cryptocurrency. So is it accepted now? Yes, it is. And it's being accepted, you know, every day. People are learning how to use it and how to send it, right? So this is what money really comes down to. And so do we have any questions about the technology called Bitcoin? I would love to answer any question right now. And I can mute you guys if you guys have any questions. If not, does anybody have any questions?